Without exception, the three middle-aged men were all sent flying by the power unleashed from Duan Ling Tian's body. Wah! Wah! Immediately after, all three were injured by Duan Ling Tian's power, their faces flushed as they spat out several mouthfuls of clotted blood. After catching their breath, their gazes towards Duan Ling Tian, besides anger, also contained a hint of fear and apprehension. They never expected it. This purple-clad young man, who appeared to be only in his 20s, possessed such terrifying strength. Sending them flying and injuring them happened in the blink of an eye, leaving them no time to react. They didn't even have time to draw upon the power of heaven and earth above the void, let alone manifest a heaven and earth phenomenon. They knew this young man's strength far surpassed theirs. You have 3 breaths to disappear from my sight, otherwise, death. Duan Ling Tian's voice was cold as ice as he spoke indifferently. Instantly, the 3 middle-aged men's expressions changed drastically. They hurriedly turned and fled, disappearing in a flash into the architectural complex ahead, which was the stronghold of the Northern Ridge Lu family. They, too, were clearly here for the alchemist competition being held by the Northern Ridge Lu family. Phew! After the 3 left, Duan Ling Tian's body trembled imperceptibly, and he couldn't help but let out a sigh of relief. In that instant just now, he even had an impulse to kill those 3 middle-aged men. It was the after effect of the demon's sealing tablet acting up, which he forcibly suppressed at the critical moment. At this point, those who had witnessed the previous scene no longer dared to approach Duan Ling Tian, let alone gaze at Feng Tianwu lying in the ice coffin. Xiong Quan, let's go too. Duan Ling Tian called out to Xiong Quan, took the ice coffin, and headed towards the architectural complex ahead, following the crowd into the western part of the complex. They arrived at a vast open area. This vast area was divided into 2 sections. One section was near a row of magnificent palace buildings. The other section was the outer area, where many people stood sparsely. Most of the people, including Duan Ling Tian and those who had descended from the sky, stood in the outer area. Duan Ling Tian saw. In the section closer to the palace buildings, tables were arranged, forming a continuous expanse. Additionally, each table had identical medicinal ingredients placed on it. The alchemist competition should be held here. Duan Ling Tian had no trouble discerning this. Suddenly, as if sensing something, Duan Ling Tian slightly turned his head and looked not far away. There, 3 middle-aged men were looking at him. As he looked over, the 3 middle-aged men quickly averted their gazes. But in that instant of looking over, he saw the anger and hatred filling their eyes. Duan Ling Tian was not unfamiliar with the 3 middle-aged men. They were precisely the 3 he had injured outside earlier. After a single glance at the 3, Duan Ling Tian retracted his gaze. 3 void transformation stage first and second level martial artists posed no threat to him. In the distance, after the 3 middle-aged men averted their gazes from Duan Ling Tian, they exchanged glances, seeing fear and apprehension in each other's eyes. Is he also here to participate in the alchemist competition? One of them spoke slowly, his slightly suppressed voice clearly tinged with anger. Probably. Another nodded. So, does that mean he's human, not a demon? The last man frowned. Initially, after witnessing the purple-clad young man's strength, he had assumed the other party was a demon. Simply because the other party was too young, a young man who appeared to be only in his 20s, yet his strength far surpassed theirs, and his cultivation was suspected to be above the void transformation stage 4th level. Even among the most outstanding young powerhouses in the O and Lu families of their northern ridge land, who focused on martial arts cultivation, none possessed such terrifying talent. More than half of the O and Lu families focused on the art of artifact forging and the art of alchemy. The remaining portion, due to limitations in their talent, could not become artifact forgers or alchemists, and thus could only focus on martial arts, improving their cultivation to protect their respective families. The O and Lu families, being a family of artifact forgers and a family of alchemists respectively, had a legacy spanning tens of thousands of years, and their accumulated cultivation resources were comparable to those of first-rate forces. Therefore, The disciples of the O and Lu families who focused on martial arts cultivation, nurtured by such vast cultivation resources, naturally would not have weak strength. If he is really here to participate in the alchemist competition, then he should be human. Demons are almost impossible to become alchemists. This is an iron rule on the cloud-soaring continent. The three middle-aged men exchanged glances again, and for a moment, they all saw shock in each other's eyes. Such a young man, possessing a cultivation far superior to theirs, had already left them inexplicably shocked. Now, learning that the other party was likely an alchemist, just like them, also here to participate in the alchemist competition. For a moment, they couldn't help but be inexplicably stunned, their hearts surging, difficult to calm down for a long time. Perhaps he is accompanying the middle-aged man beside him. The three of them could not believe that Duan Ling Tian was there to participate in the alchemist competition no matter what, and soon, one of them speculated. Possible. The other two also nodded. They also hoped it was truly so. After all, their previous conjecture, in their opinion, was simply too incredible, and they all felt that it was almost impossible for such a thing to happen. Yao Yang, didn't you say that one of the judges for this alchemist competition held by the Northern Ridge Lu family is your maternal uncle? Suddenly, one of the middle-aged men looked at another middle-aged man in green, his eyes lighting up. Why don't you say hello to your maternal uncle and let him directly eliminate the alchemist who is with that guy? As he spoke, he looked at the middle-aged man behind the purple-clad youth standing in the distance, a faint, cold smile playing on his lips. The one he was targeting was naturally Xiong Quan, who was beside Duan Ling Tian. Now, he only assumed that Duan Ling Tian was accompanying Xiong Quan to participate in the alchemist competition, and that Xiong Quan was the alchemist. That's right, Yao Yang. As long as your maternal uncle says the word, they'll be out immediately. The other middle-aged man also looked at the green-clad middle-aged man, his face full of anticipation. Don't worry. When my maternal uncle comes out later, I'll tell him, that guy dared to hurt me. So I'll make sure the person he came with doesn't even qualify for the preliminary round of the alchemist competition. The green-clad middle-aged man narrowed his eyes, saying with a confident expression. Immediately after, all three of them laughed, a triumphant laugh. Duan Ling Tian was naturally unaware of the trio's conspiracy. Of course, even if he knew, he wouldn't care. I wonder if the contemporary Northern Ridge Lu family has any first-grade alchemists. Duan Ling Tian's heart stirred, quite curious about this. Immediately after, his peripheral vision swept over a middle-aged man not far away, and he smiled slightly as he looked over. Big brother, there's something I'd like to ask you. Please speak. The middle-aged man had already noticed Duan Ling Tian. The ice coffin floating beside Duan Ling Tian was simply too conspicuous, making it hard not to attract attention. I just arrived in the Northern Ridgeland not long ago. I only know that the Lu family is one of the two strongest forces in the Northern Ridgeland, and I also know that more than a dozen first-grade alchemists have appeared in the Lu family's history. Duan Ling Tian looked at the middle-aged man and asked directly, but I don't know. Does the contemporary Lu family have any first-grade alchemists? No. The middle-aged man originally thought Duan Ling Tian was going to ask him something difficult, but he didn't expect it to be such a simple question. He immediately shook his head and said, the contemporary Lu family does not have any first-grade alchemists. Even the Lu family's last first-grade alchemist dates back 900 years. I see. Duan Ling Tian suddenly understood, then smiled slightly at the middle-aged man. Thank you for your guidance, big brother. No need to be polite, brother. The middle-aged man returned a smile. Then his gaze fell upon the ice coffin floating beside Duan Ling Tian, and he asked with some curiosity, Brother, may I ask about the lady inside this ice coffin? She is my fiancée. Before the middle-aged man could finish speaking, Duan Ling Tian had already looked at Feng Tianwu lying in the ice coffin and said with a gentle expression. Almost at the same time, Duan Ling Tian, who was focused on Feng Tianwu's exquisite face, did not notice that just as his words fell, Feng Tianwu's right hand moved slightly. The movement was very slight, and in a flash, it returned to stillness. All of this went unnoticed not only by Duan Ling Tian, but also by everyone else, including Xiongquan. Feng Tianwu, lying in the ice coffin, seemed to have heard Duan Ling Tian's words just now. Brother, you are truly blessed. The middle-aged man also clearly saw Feng Tianwu's peerless beauty lying in the ice coffin at this moment, and he said with an envious expression. Duan Ling Tian politely returned a smile. My name is Huang Chun. May I ask your name, brother? The middle-aged man asked. Duan Ling Tian. Duan Ling Tian replied. What a great name. Huang Chun did not stint on praise in his words, then looked at Xiongquan. And what is this gentleman's name? My name is Xiongquan. Xiongquan nodded to Huang Chun. Are brother Ling Tian and brother Xiongquan also here to participate in the alchemist competition? Huang Chun asked again. I am not an alchemist. Xiongquan shook his head. So that means brother Xiongquan is accompanying brother Ling Tian to participate in the alchemist competition. Brother Ling Tian is truly young and promising. At such a young age, he is already a sixth-grade alchemist, and his future prospects are bound to be limitless. Huang Chun praised. With brother Ling Tian's talent in becoming a sixth-grade alchemist at such a young age, it's almost a sure thing that he will become an outer disciple of the Northern Ridge Lu family this time. A sixth-grade alchemist was the minimum threshold to participate in the alchemist competition. Therefore, Huang Chun guessed that Duan Ling Tian should be a sixth-grade alchemist. As for a higher-grade alchemist, he dared not imagine. Duan Ling Tian, at such a young age, being able to become a sixth-grade alchemist, already filled him with an inexplicable shock from the bottom of his heart. Such alchemist talent could already be considered monstrous. Duan Ling Tian merely smiled faintly at Huang Chun's words. Becoming a foreign surname disciple of the Biling Lu family, set in stone? He did not come here to become a foreign surname disciple of the Biling Lu family. He visited the Biling Lu family to have them honor him as a guest elder or patron. One could imagine, as long as he displayed his status as a first-grade alchemist, even the martial emperor experts of the Biling Lu family would treat him with great respect. However, I can still participate in this alchemist competition. When the competition officially begins, I will display my first-grade pill fire. That will certainly be interesting. Thinking of this, a smile played on Duan Lingtian's lips. The smile currently on Duan Lingtian's lips, when seen by Huang Chun, seemed to represent confidence. Confidence that he would definitely rank among the top 30 in the alchemist competition and become a foreign surname disciple of the Biling Lu family. If Huang Chun knew Duan Lingtian's true thoughts right now, he would probably be scared into fainting on the spot. The alchemist competition had not yet begun, and everyone, including Duan Lingtian, stood still, waiting patiently. As time passed, fewer and fewer people arrived. Finally, after a long wait, no one else was seen. Whoosh, whoosh. Suddenly, two faint sounds of wind approached, startling everyone, including Duan Lingtian. As Duan Lingtian and the others looked toward the source of the wind sounds, they discovered two aged figures had appeared there. These were two old men, one dressed in green robes and one in gray robes. The old man in green robes was strongly built, with a determined face. His presence commanded respect without anger, subtly giving off an inexplicable sense of pressure. The old man in gray robes was thin and gaunt, with an air of gloominess between his brows, giving off an extremely sinister feeling. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. As the two old men appeared, 5 more figures appeared behind them, following like shadows. Among these people were old men and middle-aged men. They stood expressionlessly behind the two elders, gazing forward, never moving an inch from beginning to end. The Lu family members have come out. Someone whispered, causing everyone, including Duan Lingtian, to snap back to attention and reassess the 7 people before them. The 2 leaders are both at the Void Transformation Realm 8th level. The other 5, the weakest is at the Void Transformation Realm 4th level, and the strongest is at the Void Transformation Realm 6th level. Duan Lingtian's mental energy extended out, immediately detecting the cultivation of the 7 people. The cultivation of these 7 people was not considered strong within a second-rate faction like the Biling Lu family. But Duan Lingtian knew clearly that their cultivation did not need to be very high. appearing just as the alchemist competition is about to start. These 7 people must be the Biling Lu family members responsible for hosting this alchemist competition. Those hosting the alchemist competition are undoubtedly alchemists, and their ranks should not be low. For high-grade alchemists, having this level of cultivation is already quite good. Duan Lingtian's eyes flashed, his sharp gaze seemingly able to easily see through the 7 members of the Biling Lu family. As it turned out, Duan Lingtian had guessed correctly. Welcome, everyone, to our Lu family to participate in and observe the alchemist competition. First, on behalf of the Lu family, I want to thank you all for your enthusiasm. Second, this time, our Lu family is only recruiting the top 30 participants from the alchemist competition. If anyone is unfortunately eliminated, please do not be discouraged. Our Lu family will hold the alchemist competition again in 3 years. The old man in green robes spoke, his voice booming like a great bell, entering the ears of everyone present. My name is Lu So, and I am an elder of the Lu family. The person beside me is also an elder of our Lu family. I believe everyone has heard of him. He is Elder Lu Zhao. The old man in green robes continued speaking, introducing himself while also introducing the old man in gray robes beside him to the crowd. Elder Lu Zhao? Could it be the Lu family elder who is often able to refine third-grade elixirs with purity above 70%? It must be him. I heard earlier that one of the judges for today's alchemist competition is Elder Lu Zhao. Although Elder Lu Zhao is only a third-grade alchemist, because he can refine third-grade elixirs with purity above 70%, he can be considered an outstanding figure among third-grade alchemists. Many people whispered among themselves, discussing the old man in gray robes, who was Lu family Elder Lu Zhao. Elder Lu So is also a third-grade alchemist of the Lu family, and he has also refined third-grade elixirs with purity above 70%. Although he is not as good as Elder Lu Zhao, he is not far behind. That's right, Elder Lu So is also very formidable. If I could receive his guidance, my progress in the Tao of Alchemy would definitely advance 1,000 miles in a day. Furthermore, I heard that Elder Lu So is very kind and unassuming. This is a point, however, that Elder Lu Zhao cannot compare to. Immediately afterward, many more people whispered among themselves. At the same time, Lu Zhao's expression darkened slightly, but he ultimately did not flare up. As for Lu So, outwardly he showed no emotion, but deep within his eyes was a trace of pleasure. No matter who it was, everyone liked being praised rather than criticized. Today, Lu So and I will serve as the chief judges for this alchemist competition. The 5 people behind us are all outstanding alchemists of our Lu family. They will serve as judges, responsible for inspecting your pill refinement results. Lu So continued speaking to the crowd. Duan Lingtian stopped listening halfway through Lu So's words. Of course, it wasn't that he deliberately stopped listening. Rather, his gaze had been drawn elsewhere. His gaze was originally focused on Lu So and the other 7 members of the Biling Lu family, making it easy to spot anyone whose demeanor was amiss. Now he was drawn specifically to Lu Zhao. He noticed that Lu Zhao was currently looking at a green-robed middle-aged man, nodding occasionally, as if communicating something with him. Finally, a fierce light, a predatory gleam, flashed deep within Lu Zhao's eyes. Initially, although Duan Lingtian felt the green-robed middle-aged man's back looked somewhat familiar, he didn't dwell on it. However, just then, the green-robed middle-aged man suddenly turned his head to look at him. Deep within the other party's eyes was a mix of mockery and disdain, and his face held the smile of a successful plotter. So it was him. Now, seeing the green-robed middle-aged man's true face, Duan Lingtian finally recognized him. No wonder I found him somewhat familiar. The green-robed middle-aged man was none other than one of the 3 middle-aged men he had taught a lesson to outside the Biling Lu family. It seems he knows Lu Zhao, not just knows him, but seems quite familiar with him. Duan Lingtian narrowed his eyes. Without needing to guess, he could tell what the green-robed middle-aged man and Lu Zhao had been discussing just now. 9 times out of 10, they were plotting how to make trouble for him. However, he wasn't concerned. If he were merely a 6th-grade alchemist, he might truly fall into their trap. But the problem was, he wasn't a 6th-grade alchemist at all. Everyone quiet down. Soon, Lu Shou's voice continued, overpowering the extremely noisy sounds on site, causing the venue to instantly quiet down. For a moment, everyone's attention, including Duan Lingtian's, was focused on Lu Shou. The alchemist competition is divided into 3 stages: the preliminary round, the semifinals, and the finals. Before the preliminary round begins, you need to draw lots to get your respective numbered slips, and then proceed with the preliminary round in numerical order. Seeing everyone looking, Lu Shou said, "It's about to start." Instantly, many people's eyes lit up. The preliminary round marks the start of the alchemist competition. Only by advancing past the preliminary round can one enter the semifinals. After the semifinals comes the finals. Only the 30 most outstanding individuals can enter the finals. Everyone who enters the finals will be able to join the Biling Lu family and become a foreign surname disciple of the Lu family. The finals will determine the specific rankings of the 30 people, and those who rank highly will receive generous rewards. At the same time, they will become targets for focused cultivation by the Lu family. I heard that the top 3 in the finals, besides receiving physical rewards, can also become the personal apothecary apprentices of a Lu family second-grade alchemist and receive guidance from a second-grade alchemist. My goal is the top 3 in the finals. As long as I can receive guidance from a second-grade alchemist, I will definitely become a 4th-grade alchemist in a short time. Anyone participating in the alchemist competition who has some strength isn't just aiming to become a foreign surname disciple of the Lu family. Everyone hopes to receive guidance from a high-grade alchemist of the Lu family. Many people discussed animatedly, their eyes burning with fervor. Among them, many 5th-grade alchemists had the biggest goal of becoming the personal apothecary apprentice of a Biling Lu family second-grade alchemist. As the saying goes, the pavilion closest to the water gets the moonlight first. A personal apothecary apprentice can assist a second-grade alchemist by their side. As long as they serve the second-grade alchemist well, they can receive guidance at any time. Have them proceed with drawing lots. Lu Shou looked at a middle-aged man following behind him and said lightly, "Yes." After respectfully responding, the middle-aged man prepared to fly out and retrieve the items needed for drawing lots, allowing Duan Lingtian and the other participants of the alchemist competition to draw their slips. Wait! Just then, a voice suddenly rang out, causing the middle-aged man to pause, unable to fly out. Elder Lu Zhao. The middle-aged man looked at the elders standing side by side with Lu Shou, not daring to move rashly. "Lu Zhao, do you have something else to say?" Lu Shou raised an eyebrow and asked Lu Zhao. Lu Zhao nodded faintly, then stepped forward, glanced around, and spoke fluently. "Today is the day our Biling Lu family holds the alchemist competition to recruit outstanding foreign surname disciples. I personally welcome all of you for coming. However, when our Lu family recruits foreign surname disciples, besides looking at talent in the Tao of alchemy, we also look at character. To my knowledge, some people among you have a violent heart nature and injure others at the slightest provocation. Such people are not qualified to participate in the alchemist competition held by our Lu family." As he spoke, a sharp light flashed in Lu Zhao's eyes, finally landing on a youth in purple robes in the distance, while simultaneously looking at the middle-aged man behind the youth in purple robes. The purple-clad young man was, naturally, Duan Lingtian. As for the middle-aged man standing behind Duan Lingtian, he was Xiong Quan. When Lu Zhao spoke those words, his gaze fixed on Duan Lingtian and Xiong Quan. The eyes of the other people also fell upon them. Before long, people standing near Duan Lingtian and Xiong Quan quickly moved away from them, as if they were afraid of getting into trouble. In an instant, the area where Duan Lingtian and Xiong Quan stood became completely empty. Apart from the ice coffin floating beside Duan Lingtian, only Huang Chun remained, but Huang Chun's face was not looking good either. He wanted to leave, but recalling that he and Duan Lingtian were somewhat acquainted, leaving like this seemed a bit improper. Just as Huang Chun was still hesitating, Lu Zhao's gaze fell on him, and he asked faintly, "Are you with them?" As soon as Lu Zhao spoke, Huang Chun's face changed drastically, and he frantically waved his hands, saying, "No, no, no, I don't know them, I don't know them." The flustered Huang Chun moved swiftly, quickly leaving Duan Ling Tian and Xiong Quan, as if avoiding a plague. Huang Chun's words clearly reached Duan Ling Tian's ears. However, Duan Ling Tian didn't mind. Not to mention that he and Huang Chun had only met once. Even if Huang Chun were his friend, Huang Chun still had the right to choose, and he couldn't force him. He was very open-minded about this. At this moment, in the vast open space, only Duan Ling Tian and Xiong Quan remained standing there. To be precise, there were 3 people. There was also Feng Tian Wu, lying inside the ice coffin floating beside Duan Ling Tian. You two have poor character. Our Lu family does not welcome you. Your qualifications for today's Alchemist Grand Competition have been revoked. Lu Zhao looked at Duan Ling Tian and Xiong Quan, speaking faintly. His words were filled with an undeniable tone. It was as if he were the judge who controlled life and death. With just one sentence, he had pronounced the death sentence on Duan Ling Tian and Xiong Quan, making it impossible for them to recover. Lu So, who stood beside him, frowned slightly. He naturally understood a thing or two about the current situation. It was nothing more than Lu Zhao intentionally suppressing the purple-clad young man and the person beside him. As for the reason, just now, he had seen Lu Zhao exchanging glances with someone who had come to participate in the Alchemist Grand Competition. He had some impression of that green-clad middle-aged man, as if he had seen him somewhere before. Right? He came to our Lu family last time. He's Lu Zhao's cousin's son. Soon, Lu So finally remembered, almost certain that Lu Zhao was abusing his power for personal gain. However, even so, although he was displeased, he still had no intention of stopping Lu Zhao, no matter what. That purple-clad young man and the person beside him were, to him, outsiders whom he didn't know. And Lu Zhao, no matter what, was an elder of the Lu family. He couldn't defend the latter for the sake of the former. Therefore, he chose to remain silent. Poor character? Duan Ling Tian suddenly smiled, a bright and radiant smile that made everyone around him, except Xiong Quan, think he had gone mad. Laugh. You won't be laughing for long. Including the green-clad middle-aged man, the 3 middle-aged men who had previously been injured by Duan Ling Tian outside the Northern Ridge Lu family all had mocking smiles on their faces when they looked at Duan Ling Tian. In their opinion, since one of the 2 chief judges of today's Alchemist Grand Competition had already spoken and revoked this purple-clad young man's eligibility, this purple-clad young man was destined to be kicked out. Didn't you hear what I said? Seeing that Duan Ling Tian and Xiong Quan made no move after hearing his words, Lu Zhao felt his authority challenged, and a cold glint flashed in his eyes as he asked in a deep voice, "Elder Lu Zhao, this is against the rules." However, what Lu Zhao received was not a response or departure from Duan Ling Tian and the other man, but a voice filled with righteous indignation. "Elder Lu So, what do you mean by this?" Lu Zhao looked at Lu So beside him, his face growing even gloomier. The one who spoke to question him was none other than Lu So. He had seen all of Lu So's facial changes just now and knew that Lu So had no intention of meddling. He had just been thinking that Lu So was quite sensible, but who knew that Lu So would intervene in the blink of an eye. Although the development of the situation was somewhat sudden, Lu Zhao didn't think much of it, only feeling that Lu So was deliberately not giving him face by refuting him in public. "Elder Lu Zhao, you say their character is poor, but you don't know how it's poor? Have you perhaps met them before this? Or rather, do you know them?" Lu So seemed to have suddenly changed into a different person. He, who had originally tacitly condoned Lu Zhao's act of seeking personal revenge for his cousin, suddenly seemed to transform into a selfless individual. Lu So's sudden change, let alone Lu Zhao, even Duan Ling Tian couldn't help but be surprised. When Lu Zhao righteously declared that he would revoke his qualification to participate in the Alchemist Grand Competition and make him leave the Lu family, he had carefully observed the expression of this chief judge, Lu So. At that time, Lu So had been a cold observer. Now, Lu So's sudden change left him a bit bewildered. How did this Lu So suddenly seem to change into a different person? What prompted him to undergo such a change? Duan Ling Tian was completely puzzled by this point. But he always felt there must be a reason. Lu Shou's action would undoubtedly offend Lu Zhao, an elder who had worked together in the Northern Ridge Lu family for many years. If he and Lu Shou knew each other and had a close relationship, that would be one thing. But the problem was, he didn't know Lu Shou at all. Everything Lu Shou was doing now was for him, a stranger he had never met. There must be a demon when things go awry. Duan Lingtian very much agreed with this, saying, I don't know them. Facing Lu Shou's questioning, a cold glint flashed in Lu Zhao's eyes, and he said in a deep voice, however, someone does know them, and personally experienced being injured by him. The person you mentioned who was injured by him. I wonder where they are. Can they be called out to speak for themselves? Lu Shou raised an eyebrow and said faintly, after all, who knows if they are intentionally slandering? Elder Lu Zhao, what do you think? Humph. Lu Zhao snorted coldly, then looked at the three middle-aged men, including the green-clad one, and said faintly, since Elder Lu Shou wants to know the whole story, you can tell him everything in detail. Yes, originally, the three middle-aged men thought that the purple-clad young man who injured them would soon be expelled, but they never expected Lu Shou to intervene. Hearing Lu Zhao's summons, they dared not delay and responded in unison. Immediately after, they looked at Lu Shou. Elder Lu Shou, earlier outside the Lu family, he openly injured the three of us. We three are certain that we had never seen him before, nor could we possibly know him. The green-clad middle-aged man looked at Lu Shou and said righteously, such a scumbag. If he enters the Lu family, he will only tarnish the Lu family's reputation. He was wantonly injuring people near the Lu family, and he injured people who came to participate in the alchemist grand competition, people who might become external disciples of the Lu family after today. Such a person is not qualified to enter the Lu family. And his companion beside him, aiding and abetting. If these two enter the Lu family, they will definitely be like two rats spoiling a pot of soup. The other two middle-aged men chimed in, speaking with righteous indignation. At the same time, there was a commotion all around. If that's really the case, then those two truly aren't qualified to join the Lu family. The Lu family is one of the top families in our Northern Ridge region. How can it tolerate such a violent and ill-tempered person? Get out, get out. After hearing the words of the three green-clad middle-aged men, the crowd around pointed fingers at Duan Lingtian and Xiong Quan, speaking without reservation. Duan Lingtian completely ignored this scene, maintaining a calm and collected demeanor from beginning to end. It was as if he were not the one in the eye of the storm, but someone else. However, while he could remain calm, it didn't mean others could. You villains are making false accusations. Xiong Quan, his face flushed to the extreme, suddenly roared at the surrounding pointing fingers, his hand trembling as he pointed at the three green-clad middle-aged men. Young master injured you. But why don't you tell the whole story? With so many people here, why did young master only injure you and not others? By the end of his speech, Xiong Quan's body began to tremble with excitement. He didn't care what others said about him. But what others said about his young master was absolutely unacceptable. Xiong Quan's words caused the focus of the scene to shift from Duan Lingtian to the three green-clad middle-aged men. Yes, why did he only injure you? When I came, I also passed by him, but he didn't show any intention of attacking us. Did you perhaps provoke someone yourselves, and that's why you got taught a lesson? Many people began to question the three green-clad middle-aged men. Just as the three green-clad middle-aged men frowned, and Lu Zhao's face remained gloomy. Humph. A cold snort suddenly rang out, overpowering the commotion at the scene. Immediately after, under the watchful eyes of the crowd, a handsome young man in brocade clothes flew out, reaching Lu Shou and Lu Zhao in moments, standing there proudly. Third young master. As soon as the newcomer appeared, Lu Shou, Lu Zhao, and the other 5 Lu family disciples all bowed to him. Perhaps the newcomer's cultivation and attainments in the alchemy Dao were temporarily inferior to theirs, but the old man was a direct descendant of the Lu family, holding a high position within the family, far beyond what these collateral descendants could compare to. This was the family, with the direct lineage as supreme. I heard the whole story clearly just now, hidden in the shadows. Since Elder Lu Zhao thinks they are not qualified to stay in our Lu family, then just let them get out. As soon as the third young master of the Northern Ridge Lu family appeared, he looked at Duan Ling Tian and Xiong Quan, his gaze condescending, as if looking down on two ants he could crush at any moment. Third young master, you. Lu So's expression changed slightly. What? Elder Lu So, you don't trust Elder Lu Zhao's judgment, so you don't trust my judgment either? The third young master of the Lu family interrupted Lu So, looking at Lu So, his gaze turning sharp. Duan Ling Tian calmly looked at the young man who had suddenly appeared, the third young master of the Northern Tomb Lu family. The sudden appearance of the Lu family's third young master and his current stance undoubtedly revealed one thing. He was on Lu Zhao's side. However, even so, Duan Ling Tian's expression remained unchanged, as if he could face a collapsing mountain without batting an eye. Third brother, you're truly putting on quite a show of authority. Just as Lu So was at a loss for words upon hearing the Lu family's third young master, a loud voice echoed, drawing the attention of everyone present. From a distance, a young man flew over, reaching Lu So's side in moments. Second young master. As soon as the young man appeared, Lu So and the other 5 Lu family disciples hastily bowed. Seeing the young man appear, Lu Zhao frowned slightly, but eventually bowed respectfully. It's the Lu family's second young master, Lu Bai. I never expected that for this alchemist competition, not only the Lu family's third young master would come out, but even the Lu family's second young master as well. The Lu family's second young master is said to be one of the 2 main heirs to the next family head position. The only one who can contend with the Lu family's eldest young master for the position of the next family head is probably only the Lu family's eldest young master, Lu Song. Exactly. As for this Lu family's third young master, Lu Huai, although he's good, he's still a bit inferior compared to the Lu family's eldest young master and second young master. However, I heard he's the eldest young master's biological younger brother. Many people whispered amongst themselves. These people all had some understanding of the Northern Tomb Lu family. So that's how it is. With Duan Ling Tian's keen hearing, he naturally caught all these whispers, and for a moment, he seemed to understand something. Second brother, you're not going to protect them, are you? They have despicable characters and are not qualified to enter our Lu family. Seeing Lu Bai appear, a cold glint flashed in Lu Huai's eyes, and he then said in a deep voice. However, Lu Bai ignored him, as if he hadn't heard his words at all, and instead looked at the purple-clothed youth standing not far away. We meet again, Lu Bai said with a slight smile. Yes, we meet again. The purple-clothed youth stared at by Lu Bai was none other than Duan Ling Tian. Facing Lu Bai, who had taken the initiative to greet him, Duan Ling Tian also responded with a smile. He had recognized Lu Bai as soon as he appeared. He was the elder brother from the pair of siblings he, Feng Tian Wu, and Feng Wu Dao had encountered on their way from the Great Ming Dynasty to the ancient desert city. He still remembered. At that time, Feng Wu Dao had, by chance, saved the lives of that pair of siblings. At that time, Duan Ling Tian heard the siblings say that they were from the Northern Tomb Lu family, but he had no concept of the words Northern Tomb Lu family at that time. It wasn't until he arrived in this Northern Tomb region that he understood the meaning behind the words Northern Tomb Lu family, a family with a 10,000-year legacy, an alchemist family. In its history, which spans to the present, more than a dozen first-grade alchemists have appeared. Lu Bai. Lu Bai looked at Duan Ling Tian and suddenly spoke, clearly introducing himself. Duan Ling Tian. Duan Ling Tian smiled in response. At the same time, his gaze swept over Lu Bai and Lu So, who were standing together, and his heart stirred, vaguely guessing something. Just now, this elder Lu So didn't intend to meddle, but in the blink of an eye, he seemed to deliberately protect me. I was wondering why he would help me. Now it seems that it was undoubtedly Lu Bai's signal. Lu Bai must have been hiding in the dark from the beginning and recognized me. Duan Ling Tian thought to himself. At this moment, the mist that had just shrouded Duan Ling Tian completely dissipated. Seeing Duan Ling Tian and Lu Bai greeting each other like old friends, the expressions of the onlookers changed more or less. He actually knows the Lu family's second young master? The green-clothed middle-aged man and his two companions changed their expressions, a hint of apprehension appearing in their eyes. They never expected that the purple-clothed youth they hated so much would actually know Lu Bai, the highly esteemed second young master of the Northern Tomb Lu family. Moreover, their relationship seemed to be quite close. No wonder Lu So didn't hesitate to offend me just now to meddle in this matter. So he's the second young master's friend. It must have been the second young master signaling from the shadows earlier, asking Lu So to help him. Lu Zhao's face darkened, and he vaguely guessed some things in his heart. At the same time, his eyes flickered with a cold glint, and his sinister gaze remained fixed on the purple figure in the distance. Noticing a sinister gaze sweeping over, Duan Ling Tian raised an eyebrow and calmly glanced at Lu Zhao, but ignored him. A third-grade alchemist? 8th level of the void prying stage? To be honest, whether in alchemy or martial arts cultivation, Duan Ling Tian did not put this Lu Zhao in his eyes. Duan Ling Tian actually knows the Lu family's second young master? Huang Chun stood aside, looking at Duan Ling Tian, who was smiling and exchanging glances with the Lu family's second young master, Lu Bai. While his heart was filled with regret, it felt as if it was bleeding. He knew he had missed an opportunity to connect with the Lu family's second young master. If he hadn't avoided Duan Ling Tian like a plague god just now, if he hadn't said he didn't know Duan Ling Tian, he would surely be treated as a friend by Duan Ling Tian now. If he were Duan Ling Tian's friend, it would be as easy as flipping a hand to connect with the Lu family's second young master through Duan Ling Tian. However, he had personally destroyed all of this. I was wondering why you'd protect them, second brother. So, they're people you know. Lu Huai took a deep look at Lu Bai and said with a hint of surprise, second brother, you truly have a wide circle of friends, knowing all sorts of people, good and bad. Lu Huai's tone was laced with sarcasm. After a pause, he continued, however, even if they are your friends, second brother, despicable individuals are not allowed into the Lu family according to our family rules. However, Lu Bai still ignored him, just as before. This made Lu Huai's expression even uglier. How did you end up coming to our Lu family? Lu Bai looked at Duan Ling Tian and asked, somewhat surprised. I'm thinking of joining your Lu family as an enshrined elder or guest elder. Duan Ling Tian smiled and answered truthfully. Enshrined elder? Guest elder? As soon as Duan Ling Tian's words fell, the entire place fell silent. Even Lu Bai was stunned for a moment. It wasn't easy to become an enshrined elder or guest elder of their Lu family. If it was a martial artist, they would need at least the strength of a martial emperor realm expert. Only martial emperor experts were qualified to become their Lu family's enshrined elders or guest elders. If it was an alchemist, they would need to be at least a second-grade alchemist to be qualified. Martial emperor expert? Alchemist above second grade. Lu Bai sized up Duan Ling Tian for a while, secretly shaking his head, only thinking that Duan Ling Tian was joking just now. Ha! After the silence, many people came back to their senses and burst into laughter. For a moment, most of the people present looked at Duan Ling Tian as if they were looking at an idiot. Him? If he doesn't rely on the Lu family's second young master's connections, whether he can successfully advance in the alchemist competition and become an outer disciple of the Lu family is probably a question. Exactly. He doesn't even bother to look in a mirror and see what kind of person he is. And he wants to become an enshrined elder or protector of the Lu family. Is he worthy? I think he's boasting too much. But to dare to boast in front of so many people, I think he's simply asking for trouble. He's probably daydreaming. Many people spoke, ridiculing Duan Ling Tian, all without exception believing that Duan Ling Tian was boasting and daydreaming. Want to become an enshrined elder or protector of the Northern Tomb Lu family. Without a martial emperor realm cultivation or being an alchemist above second grade. Don't even think about it. This Duan Ling Tian has truly gone mad. When the green-clothed middle-aged man and his two companions looked at Duan Ling Tian again, their faces were full of mocking smiles, feeling that Duan Ling Tian was completely fantasizing. So he's an idiot. Lu Zhao sneered. Haha. Second brother, is there something wrong with your friend's head? Lu Huai couldn't help but laugh loudly, his eyes filled with disdain as he looked at Duan Lingtian. Slap. Almost at the instant Lu Huai's words fell, a loud and clear slapping sound abruptly rang out. Immediately after, everyone saw, on one side of Lu Huai's face, the Lu family's third young master, a reddish palm print appeared. In a moment, that side of his face completely swelled up, looking exactly like half a pig's head. At the same time, everyone also found that in front of Lu Huai, an extra figure had appeared, a purple figure. Looking at the purple figure, most people, including Lu Bai, couldn't help but be stunned for a moment. You dare to hit me? Lu Huai clutched his swollen face, his sinister eyes flashing with blood-red, killing intent, staring fixedly at the purple-clothed youth standing in front of him, wishing he could kill him directly. However, although he was furious to the extreme, wishing he could hack the person in front of him into 1,000 pieces, he still did not act rashly. The fact that the other party could slap him without him reacting meant that the other party's strength far surpassed his. The third young master keeps saying that I have a despicable character, but I wonder if your words, casually insulting others, also count as a despicable character? After slapping Lu Huai, the person standing in front of Lu Huai was naturally Duan Lingtian. Duan Lingtian met Lu Huai's gaze calmly, a faint smile playing on the corner of his lips. This smile, in Lu Huai's eyes, was like the smile of a devil. Lu Zhao, kill him. Upon hearing Duan Lingtian's words, the killing intent in Lu Huai's eyes grew even stronger, and he suddenly let out a sharp cry. Whoosh! Almost at the moment Lu Huai spoke, Lu Zhao, who had already been preparing, darted out, transforming into a bolt of lightning that shot directly towards Duan Lingtian's location. Die! Lu Zhao's already gloomy face revealed a chilling aura, his eyes filled with extreme coldness. As he raised his hand, a spirit blade appeared out of thin air, slashing down at Duan Lingtian's head. Buzz! A piercing blade hum followed. Clang! Whoosh! A deafening clang of metal echoed, followed by a fleeting hum of a sword. Everyone present heard the sound of metal clashing. As for the fleeting sword hum, less than half of the people present could hear it. So fast. Lu So, the strongest person present apart from Lu Zhao, seemed to have seen something that shocked him. His pupils suddenly contracted, and his face showed surprise. As for everyone else, they couldn't see what had happened at all. In their eyes, as the Lu family's third young master, Lu Huai, let out a sharp cry, Lu Zhao, the Lu family elder, attacked Duan Lingtian, intending to kill him. And just as Lu Zhao pounced on Duan Lingtian, they heard the sound of metal clashing. Immediately after, they saw a trickle of blood splatter across the sky, as if congealing into dazzling red roses in midair. Boom! The next moment, the sound of a body hitting the ground came. How is this possible? Looking at the body that had fallen silent after hitting the ground, many people present gasped. Their faces and eyes were filled with disbelief. Soon, gazes fell on the purple-clad figure standing proudly. These gazes were clearly mixed with a hint of shock and bewilderment. He killed Elder Lu Zhao. How can his strength be so great? How old is he? He looks to be at most around 25. Is he a demon? No. If he were a demon, why would he come to participate in the alchemist competition held by the Lu family? It's almost impossible for a demon to become an alchemist, let alone an alchemist of grade 6 or above. If he's a human martial artist, then he must possess both terrifying martial arts talent and an alchemy talent that makes people envious, jealous, and hateful. Soon, the gazes falling on the purple figure were filled with even more shock. They found it hard to imagine that such a monstrous talent could exist in this world. Cousin, at this moment, a green figure rushed out, landing beside Lu Zhao's corpse, crying out in sorrow, his voice filled with endless desolation. Cousin, Duan Lingtian, who had become the focus of everyone's attention, glanced coldly at the green-clad middle-aged man beside Lu Zhao's corpse. No wonder Lu Zhao saw me as a thorn in his side. So, one of the 3 people I injured earlier was his nephew. Now, Duan Lingtian understood everything. If there was anyone present who wasn't shocked by the strength Duan Ling Tian displayed, besides Feng Tian Wu, who was lying in the ice coffin, it was only Xiong Quan. Everyone else was stunned and couldn't recover for a long time. He's actually so strong. I was worried about his safety earlier. After Lu Bo, the Lu family's second young master, recovered, he stared blankly at the purple figure not far away. At this moment, he felt that the purple figure in front of him was so tall. Is he really from the remote southern region? Can such a monstrous talent be born in such a backwater place? Lu Bo's face was filled with disbelief. Duan Ling Tian's origin was not difficult for him to guess, due to their previous encounter. Where did the second young master meet this Duan Ling Tian? He's simply a monster. Lu Sou's mouth twitched violently. Just now, Lu Zhao attacked Duan Ling Tian with lightning speed, making it impossible for him, who was unprepared, to react. He had thought that Duan Ling Tian would be killed by Lu Zhao. But who would have thought the outcome would be so dramatic? Yu. As Duan Ling Tian looked back at Lu Huai, the Lu family's third young master, Lu Huai, who was standing not far in front of Duan Ling Tian, his face changed drastically, filled with panic and helplessness. Like everyone else, he also never expected that Duan Ling Tian's strength would be so terrifying. Even Lu Zhao, an 8th-level void transformation stage expert, died at his hands. From Lu Zhao's attack to his death, let alone the heaven and earth phenomena triggered by Duan Ling Tian's power not appearing, even Lu Zhao's power didn't have time to trigger the power of heaven and earth to condense into a heaven and earth phenomenon. Lu Zhao attacked first, taking the initiative. As soon as he attacked, he was killed. All of this happened in the blink of an eye. Duan Ling Tian's movements were extremely fast, and he couldn't see anything clearly from beginning to end. Just as Lu Huai's face turned red, staring at Duan Ling Tian in horror, his legs trembling, Duan Ling Tian made his move. Whoosh! A hand shot out like lightning, easily grabbing Lu Huai's neck and lifting him up, leaving his feet dangling in the air. At the same time, a cold glint appeared in Duan Ling Tian's eyes as he stared at Lu Huai. A soaring killing intent emanated from Duan Ling Tian, clearly indicating his intention to kill Lu Huai. You want to kill me? Lu Huai, his face flushed purple from being choked by Duan Ling Tian, asked with difficulty, his eyes filled with fears stemming from his heart and soul. You ordered someone to kill me. Can I kill you? Duan Ling Tian's face was calm, and his tone was equally calm. But everyone present could hear the chilling killing intent in this calm tone, feeling a shiver down their spines. Is this Duan Ling Tian crazy? He actually wants to kill the Lu family's third young master. Once he really kills the Lu family's third young master, no matter how strong his martial arts talent or alchemy talent is, he will not escape death. Killing the Lu family's third young master is equivalent to slapping the Lu family in the face. The Lu family will never let it go. At that time, even if the Lu family's second young master pleads for him, it will be useless. He will surely die. The onlookers whispered, their faces extremely solemn. Kill him! Kill him! And the green-clad middle-aged man, who was squatting beside Lu Zhao's corpse, having just closed Lu Zhao's unclosed eyes, stared at Duan Ling Tian with anger and madness in his eyes, constantly roaring inwardly. He knew that he couldn't avenge his cousin. Therefore, he could only place his hopes on the Lu family. Duan Ling Tian, by killing his cousin, had already offended the Lu family. However, with the Lu family's second young master pleading for him, the Lu family would definitely not kill Duan Ling Tian to avenge his cousin. After all, his cousin was just a collateral descendant of the Lu family, and compared to the Lu family's second young master, his life was as cheap as grass. However, if Duan Ling Tian killed the Lu family's third young master, then everything would be different. At that time, even if the Lu family's second young master pleaded for him, the Lu family would kill Duan Ling Tian at all costs. Duan Ling Tian, don't kill him. Upon sensing the killing intent emanating from Duan Ling Tian, Lu Bo, the Lu family's second young master, and Lu So, the Lu family elder, almost simultaneously shouted. Their faces were clearly filled with panic. As members of the Liu family, they naturally knew what consequences one would face if someone killed a direct descendant of the Liu family. Hmm. Duan Ling Tian frowned and looked back at Lu Bo. He had a good impression of Lu Bo. However, he couldn't just let Lu Huai go. Although he had already killed Lu Zhao, who wanted to kill him, Lu Zhao was instigated by Lu Huai. Lu Huai was the culprit. He would not let go of anyone who wanted him dead. Duan Ling Tian, calm down, calm down. Don't act impulsively. Lu Huai's death is not to be regretted, but you don't need to throw your life away for a Lu Huai. Lu Bo's breathing was rapid as he continuously tried to persuade him. Throw my life away? Duan Ling Tian raised an eyebrow. Lu Huai, no matter what, is a direct descendant of our Biling Lu family. If you kill him, it's equivalent to slapping our Lu family in the face. Our entire Lu family will kill you at all costs. Lu Bo nodded in a hurry, expressing his concerns. Duan Ling Tian fell silent for a moment, his eyes flickering, as if he was thinking about something. At the same time, the atmosphere on the scene became exceptionally oppressive, and everyone's gaze fell on Duan Ling Tian, as if they all wanted to know how Duan Ling Tian would choose. Kill Lu Huai? Or not kill him? I wonder if this Duan Ling Tian will really kill the Lu family's third young master. Many people spoke in low voices, their tone full of questions. Knowing that he will surely die after killing the Lu family's third young master, he probably wouldn't dare to kill him. I think so too. More people believe that Duan Ling Tian wouldn't dare to kill Lu Huai. After all, as soon as Lu Huai died, Duan Ling Tian wouldn't live either. If the current Duan Ling Tian were them, they would admit that they wouldn't dare to kill Lu Huai. In their opinion, their own lives were more important than anything else, and there was no need to throw away their lives for a moment of anger. Cough, cough. You wouldn't dare to kill me. You wouldn't dare to kill me. At this moment, Lu Huai, who was lifted by Duan Ling Tian gripping his neck, coughed twice, a look of triumph appearing on his pale face, his eyes filled with disdain as he stared at Duan Ling Tian. Are you sure? I wouldn't dare to kill you. Duan Ling Tian, who had seemed to be in deep thought, heard Lu Huai's provocative words, his eyes flashed, and he came back to his senses. He tightened his grip on Lu Huai's neck. Cough, cough, cough. You, what are you doing? As Duan Ling Tian tightened his grip, making it difficult for Lu Huai to breathe, Lu Huai's pupils contracted, and he struggled continuously. Duan Ling Tian, don't. Seeing this, Lu Bo's face changed drastically. Duan Ling Tian, you must think carefully. Once you kill the third young master, you won't survive. Lu So also advised. Young master. At this moment, Xiong Quan was more or less affected by the surrounding atmosphere, looking at Duan Ling Tian with a worried expression, and followed up with his own advice. There's no need to put yourself in danger for him. The Biling Lu family has been passed down for 10,000 years. Duan Ling Tian, however, seemed to not hear Lu Bo, Lu So, and Xiong Quan's advice, but instead muttered to himself. He paused after muttering to this point. Immediately after, he turned his head to look at Lu Bo and asked, in the history of your Lu family, has there never been anyone who killed a direct descendant of the Lu family and still lived? There have been. Although he didn't know why Duan Ling Tian was asking this, Lu Bo still nodded. Who were they? Duan Ling Tian's eyes flashed, and he asked curiously. They are further divided into two types of people. One type are martial emperor powerhouses who can make our Lu family helpless. Lu Bo paused here, his expression becoming solemn, and his tone tinged with helplessness. Martial emperor powerhouses. And they are martial emperor powerhouses who can make the Lu family helpless. Lu Bo's words clearly reached everyone present. For a moment, everyone agreed. Martial emperor powerhouses who can make the Lu family helpless are clearly existences whose strength is above that of the strongest martial emperor powerhouses in the Lu family. Such existences are beyond the Lu family's reach. If such a person kills a direct descendant of the Lu family, even if the Lu family is enraged, they cannot retaliate. Although the Lu family has connections with some first-rate forces on the other side of the weak river inland, those first-rate forces only intervene when the Lu family is on the verge of destruction. Unless the Lu family is facing imminent annihilation, let alone the death of a direct descendant, even if the Lu family patriarch dies, the first-rate forces will not intervene. They protect the Lu family, not a specific individual within the Lu family. What about the other type of people? Duan Ling Tian's eyes flashed as he continued to ask. The other type of people are not martial emperor powerhouses. Lu Bo slowly spoke, successfully attracting the attention of everyone except the Lu family disciples, before continuing. Those people have almost reached the pinnacle in the path of alchemy. They are Grade 1 alchemists. Grade 1 alchemists. As soon as Lu Bo said this, the entire scene fell silent. At this moment, even if a needle dropped to the ground, its sound would likely be heard. So it's Grade 1 alchemists. The Northern Ridge Lu family is itself an alchemist family. Grade 1 alchemists are enough to earn the Lu family's respect. Furthermore, Grade 1 alchemists have a great influence. This can be seen from the Lu family's ability to endure for 10,000 years. The Lu family has been able to endure for 10,000 years precisely because of the dozen or so Grade 1 alchemists who appeared in its history. When everyone came back to their senses, they all suddenly understood and whispered, deeply agreeing with this. Grade 1 alchemists, in terms of martial power, might not be as strong as the powerhouses of the Northern Ridge Lu family. However, the influence of a Grade 1 alchemist is enough to make the Lu family wary, even afraid to provoke them. Cough cough. Did you hear? Only martial emperor powerhouses. Grade 1 alchemists, cough cough, can remain unharmed, cough cough, after killing me. You're not qualified, not qualified to kill me. At the same time, Lu Huai, who was lifted by Duan Ling Tian by the neck, became restless again, staring at Duan Ling Tian with disdain in his eyes, feeling secure in his position. Only martial emperor powerhouses and Grade 1 alchemists can remain unharmed after killing you. Duan Ling Tian calmly met Lu Huai's gaze, his eyes flashing with a sharp light, and a hint of madness appearing on his face. No. Feeling Duan Ling Tian's hand tightening, Lu Huai's face changed again, and he struggled, screaming shrilly. Duan Ling Tian. Lu Bo, who was watching, his face changed drastically. He never expected that Duan Ling Tian would still dare to take such a risk, knowing that he would surely die after killing Lu Huai. Crack. A crisp and loud sound of bones breaking suddenly rang out, reaching everyone present, making them shiver involuntarily. Among the 5 Lu family disciples who came out with Lu So and Lu Zhao, one hastily turned and left. The other 4 also showed expressions of disbelief on their faces. Their gazes, without exception, fell on the purple figure. Everyone else's gazes were now also focused on that purple figure, the owner of which was Duan Ling Tian, dressed in purple robes. Now, as Duan Ling Tian's hand tightened, Lu Huai's neck was snapped, and his head slumped to the side. Boom! Duan Ling Tian raised his hand and threw Lu Huai's corpse to the ground, his expression calm, as if he had done something insignificant. Crazy. Many people's pupils contracted, looking at Duan Ling Tian as if they had seen a ghost, all thinking that Duan Ling Tian had gone mad. He really killed the Lu family's 3rd young master? Doesn't he fear death? Killing the Lu family's 3rd young master, even if the Lu family's 2nd young master intercedes for him, it's useless. He still can't escape death. What on earth is he thinking? He probably doesn't want to live. The onlookers discussed animatedly, all finding Duan Ling Tian's actions difficult to comprehend. Knowing that he would surely die after killing the Lu family's 3rd young master, yet still acting ruthlessly to kill him. Wasn't this seeking death? Duan Ling Tian. Lu Bo's face was grim. His worst fear had ultimately come to pass. Of course, his face turning grim wasn't due to Lu Huai's death. Although he and Lu Huai were both direct descendants, there was no blood relation between them. In fact, because he was competing with Lu Huai's elder brother, the Lu family's 1st young master Lu Song, for the next generation of family patriarch, Lu Huai had often played dirty tricks in the shadows to harm him. Lu Huai's death, to be honest, made him somewhat happy. But thinking that Duan Ling Tian might lose his life because of this, his heart couldn't help but sink. Although it was only his second meeting with Duan Ling Tian, because he had been saved by a powerhouse accompanying Duan Ling Tian during their first meeting, out of gratitude and a sense of affection for everything connected to his benefactor, he didn't want anything to happen to Duan Ling Tian. Otherwise, how could he face his benefactor who had saved his life? Young man, too competitive. Lu So sighed. He only thought that Duan Ling Tian, after being provoked by Lu Huai, killed him in a moment of irrationality due to his competitive spirit. One wrong step, eternal regret. In his opinion, this phrase couldn't be more appropriate to describe Duan Ling Tian's current situation. Neither Lu Bo nor Lu So told Duan Ling Tian to escape at this moment. It wasn't that they wanted to see Duan Ling Tian get into trouble, but rather that they knew even if Duan Ling Tian escaped now, he would be hunted down by their Lu family's martial emperor powerhouses. Unless Duan Ling Tian himself was a martial emperor powerhouse. Otherwise, his escape now would be meaningless. This Duan Ling Tian, I'm afraid he won't escape death today. What a pity for such a monstrous genius. Yes, this Duan Ling Tian is simply a monster. Not only is his cultivation astonishing, but he also killed Lu Zhao in one encounter, seemingly having reached the void transformation stage 9. Even his talent in the path of alchemy is astonishing. Heaven envies talent. Heaven envies talent. Most of the people present felt that Duan Ling Tian would surely die today. They shook their heads and sighed, feeling regret for the impending demise of this monstrous genius. Uncle, did you see that? That Duan Ling Tian killed the Lu family's third young master. He killed the Lu family's third young master. The middle-aged man in green, squatting beside Lu Zhao's corpse, had a crazed smile on his face. He lowered his head and continuously whispered to the corpse beside him, "You must watch carefully. That Duan Ling Tian will soon be executed by the Lu family." At this moment, the middle-aged man in green was filled with glee, as if he had already seen the scene of Duan Ling Tian being killed by the Lu family's powerhouses. Young master. Compared to others who thought Duan Ling Tian was doomed, Xiongquan's thoughts were completely different. Originally, influenced by the surrounding atmosphere, he was still somewhat worried that his young master, in a moment of impulse, might kill the Lu family's third young master, thereby inviting disaster. But now, after his young master killed the Lu family's third young master, his heart actually settled down. He understood his young master and knew that his young master would never do anything without confidence. He always felt that his young master definitely had a way to overcome this difficult situation. He was very much looking forward to it. "Who are you? Why did you kill my Lu family's direct descendant?" Just then, a loud voice came from afar, attracting everyone's attention. A moment later, two old men appeared in everyone's line of sight, walking side by side, one fat and one thin. The fat one was short, and the thin one was tall. The former looked like a ball, and the latter looked like a bamboo pole. The two old men came through the air, entering everyone's field of vision, and only stopped when they reached a short distance from the crowd, standing in the air, their gazes immediately locking onto the purple-clothed youth not far away. Soon, another figure appeared, which was the Lu family disciple who had just left. The two old men were the ones he had called by tipping them off. "Elder Yuan, Elder Goei." As soon as the two old men, one fat and one thin, appeared, Lu So and the other four Lu family disciples already respectfully saluted them. Even Lu Bo, the Lu family's second young master, now actively nodded in greeting to the two old men. However, the two old men did not respond to Lu Bo and the others, because their attention was now focused on Duan Ling Tian. When their gazes inadvertently caught sight of the corpse lying not far from Duan Ling Tian, although they were already prepared, they still couldn't help but feel a surge of anger. As they grew angry, their gazes became incredibly sharp, tightly locking onto Duan Ling Tian. At the same time, they made no visible movements, and even before any substantial power could be seen emanating from them, the air around their bodies already began to fluctuate, producing faint popping sounds, one after another, ceaselessly. Two martial emperor powerhouses. When the two old men, one fat and one thin, appeared, Duan Ling Tian's extended spiritual force felt as if it had merged into a cotton ball. At this moment, he realized that these two old men in front of him should both be martial emperor powerhouses. As expected of the Northern Ridge Lu family, just the death of a direct descendant brings two martial emperor powerhouses in person. At this moment, Duan Ling Tian deeply realized the meaning of the word family. If it were a sect, a similar scene would be impossible. Why did I kill your Lu family's direct descendant? Facing the sharp gazes of the two martial emperor powerhouses, Duan Ling Tian met their gaze without fear and slowly said, "He wanted to kill me. Am I not allowed to kill him then? Am I supposed to just wait for death? For us, the process is not important. The result is what matters. Do you know the consequences of killing a direct descendant of our Lu family?" The two old men, one fat and one thin, spoke almost simultaneously, their voices reaching everyone present. Whoosh, whoosh. As soon as the two old men finished speaking, a vast and mighty aura surged from each of them, sweeping towards Duan Ling Tian, who was the focus of their gazes. However, facing the aura that swept out from the two martial emperor powerhouses, Duan Ling Tian remained motionless. He stood as unmoving as a mountain amidst a storm. The scene before them caused the two old men to freeze for a moment, and when they recovered, their faces showed surprise. The young man is impressive, but unfortunately, for killing a direct descendant of our Lu family, you are doomed to die today. The short, fat old man, who resembled a ball, was Lu Yuan, a guardian elder of the Lu family. His small eyes narrowed, and he took a step forward, the surging power on his body rising, ready to be unleashed. "Elder Yuan, please be merciful." Just as Lu Yuan was about to attack Duan Ling Tian, a voice suddenly rang out, causing the power on Lu Yuan's body to slightly recede. Immediately after, his gaze fell upon the figure that appeared like lightning in front of Duan Ling Tian. Lu Bai. After clearly seeing who had spoken to plead for Duan Ling Tian, Lu Yuan couldn't help but frown. He had never expected that their Lu family's second young master would plead for the person who had killed the Lu family's third young master. "Lu Bai, as the second young master of our Lu family, you should know our family's rules. Step back." The old man, as thin as a bamboo pole, Lu Gui, another guardian elder of the Lu family, looked at Lu Bai with a stern face and spoke coldly. Lu Bai was the second young master of the Lu family, a direct descendant. However, as a guardian elder of the Lu family, a martial emperor realm existence, he held a lofty position in the Lu family, no less than that of the Lu family's patriarch. He didn't even put a direct descendant in his eyes. "Elder Yuan, Elder Gui." Lu Bai took a deep breath, his gaze fixed on Lu Yuan and Lu Gui, and he said, neither humble nor arrogant, "Lu Huai's death was purely his own doing. No one else is to blame. As for Duan Ling Tian, he saved my life, and I absolutely cannot stand by and watch my savior be executed by you." After Lu Bai finished speaking in one breath, he looked earnestly at Lu Yuan and Lu Gui, his feet not moving an inch. Whoosh! As soon as Lu Bai said this, the entire scene erupted in an uproar. Duan Ling Tian saved the Lu family's second young master's life? Many people looked surprised. The young master saved the Lu family's second young master's life? Xiong Quan was also stunned. He had never heard his young master mention this point. Duan Ling Tian raised his eyebrows slightly. Among those present, besides Lu Bai, probably only he knew. He had not saved Lu Bai's life. It was Feng Wudao who saved Lu Bai's life, not him. Of course, he also knew full well why Lu Bai was saying this now. It was nothing more than an attempt to save his life from the two Lu family martial emperor powerhouses. A warmth rose in Duan Ling Tian's heart for Lu Bai's painstaking efforts. "Lu Bai, even if he saved your life, it doesn't change the fact that he killed a direct descendant of our Lu family. Today he is certain to die." Lu Gui took a step forward, standing beside Lu Yuan. At the same time, a domineering invisible force surged from his body, instantly enveloping Lu Bai and pulling him rapidly away from Duan Ling Tian. "Elder Gui." Lu Bai's face changed drastically. He found that the invisible force enveloping him and pulling him away from Duanling Tian was extremely domineering, so much so that he couldn't break free from its restraint at all. In consideration of him saving our Lu family's second young master's life, we will give you 10 breaths of time. You may leave your last words. After 10 breaths, I will send you on your way. Lu Yuan's small eyes flashed, and after locking onto Duanling Tian, he slowly spoke. Young master. At this moment, Xiong Quan, who was pulling the ice coffin in Duanling Tian's stead, his face changed drastically, and he took a step forward, wanting to block in front of Duanling Tian, just like Lu Bai had done earlier. Go back. However, as soon as he took a step, he heard a voice like thunder, a voice he was extremely familiar with. Young master, Xiong Quan looked at Duanling Tian, who had suddenly turned his head to look at him and let out a startled shout, his face filled with anxiety. Don't worry, I'll be fine. Xiong Quan's words were interrupted by a sudden voice. He could tell it was his young master's voice. Although Xiong Quan didn't know where Duanling Tian got such great confidence, he had unconditional trust in Duanling Tian and immediately stood still obediently. He'll be fine. As soon as Duanling Tian said this, Lu So, not far away, sighed and shook his head. In his opinion, this Duanling Tian probably hadn't realized the seriousness of the situation yet. Killing a direct descendant of the Lu family, unless Duanling Tian was one of those special two types of people, otherwise, Duanling Tian was doomed to die today. There would be no suspense about this. Is this Duanling Tian crazy? He still dares to say he'll be fine even now. I think he's just bluffing, comforting the people around him. Hearing the Lu family members call these two Elder Yuan and Elder Gui, they must be two of the Lu family's three great guardian elders, Lu Yuan and Lu Gui, two martial emperor powerhouses. With Elder Yuan and Elder Gui personally coming out, and the Lu family's second young master's plea being useless, this Duanling Tian is certain to die. Everyone present discussed animatedly, all thinking that Duanling Tian was dreaming. At this moment, most of the people present looked at Duanling Tian as if they were looking at a dead man, without exception. In their opinion, Duanling Tian couldn't possibly survive. From beginning to end, they never associated Duanling Tian with the two types of people that the Lu family's second young master, Lu Bai, had mentioned earlier, because they subconsciously felt that it was impossible for such a thing to happen. Even Lu Bai himself subconsciously felt the same way. If Duanling Tian dies, how will I explain it to my benefactor if I ever meet him again? Lu Bai, restrained by Lu Gui's power, had an extremely grim expression. However, at this moment, despite being anxious about Duanling Tian's current predicament, he was powerless to help. With his strength, he couldn't break free from Lu Gui's power. Lu Gui was a martial emperor powerhouse, far beyond what he could compare to. Arrogant brat. Lu Gui also heard Duanling Tian's words, his eyes flashing with a chilling light. If Lu Yuan hadn't said to give Duanling Tian time to leave his last words, Lu Gui would have already been unable to resist attacking Duanling Tian. Duanling Tian saying that in front of him undoubtedly showed that he didn't put him in his eyes. You have 5 breaths of time left. Lu Yuan spoke in a deep voice. Now his face was also somewhat grim. He had never expected the purple-clad youth in front of him to be so arrogant. Had he known, he would never have given the other party time to leave any last words. Under the watchful eyes of the crowd. As soon as Lu Yuan's voice fell, Duanling Tian extended his right hand flat, then rotated it, palm up, back of the hand down. What is he doing? Seeing Duanling Tian's actions, most of the people present looked at each other, unable to understand what Duanling Tian was going to do. 3 breaths of time left. Soon after, 2 more breaths of time passed, and Lu Yuan spoke again, his voice cold. Duanling Tian's posture had remained unchanged for 2 breaths of time now. Even Lu Yuan and Lu Gui, the 2 Lu family guardian elders, martial emperor realm existences, didn't know what Duanling Tian was trying to do. Lu Yuan, when the time is up, he's mine. Lu Gui said indifferently, clearly intending to personally deal with Duanling Tian. Lu Yuan nodded. indicating he had no objection. 2 more breaths of time. This Duan Ling Tian, to die at the hands of a martial emperor powerhouse of the Lu family, can be considered a life well lived. Do you think this Duan Ling Tian has a problem with his brain? He's about to die. Not only does he not leave a last will, but he assumes such a strange posture instead. Could it be that he thinks Elder Yuan and Elder Gui of the Lu family will let him go because of this? Naive. Duan Ling Tian, a monstrous genius. One misstep leads to eternal regret. Dying in the Lu family today, a genius envied by heaven. I think he's asking for death. He didn't have to kill the Lu family's 3rd young master, but he still did. Everyone present whispered among themselves, many feeling that it would be a pity if Duan Ling Tian died like this. After all, Duan Ling Tian had not only displayed powerful martial arts talent, but his alchemy talent also seemed extraordinary, making him a comprehensive, monstrous genius. However, simply because he killed a direct descendant of the Lu family, Duan Ling Tian, this monstrous genius, faced a certain crisis of death. 1 more breath of time. A moment later, Lu Yuan spoke again, his voice growing colder, his gaze on Duan Ling Tian chilling, his tone devoid of any emotion. Humph. Lu Gui let out a low snort, his robes fluttering and rustling. On his body, surges of power were quietly brewing, rising and accumulating, preparing to strike after one breath, delivering a fatal blow to the purple-clad youth standing on the ground in front of him. The Martial Emperor powerhouse's accumulation of power caused everyone present to hold their breath, quietly watching. Young Master. Xiong Quan clenched his fists. Although he trusted Duan Ling Tian, under the influence of the surrounding atmosphere, he couldn't help but break out in a cold sweat for Duan Ling Tian. With only 1 more breath until Lu Gui would strike, Duan Ling Tian, who had been quietly holding out his hand with a calm expression, finally showed a change in expression on his face, a faint smile gracing his lips. This smile was barely noticeable, no one saw it. Time's up. Finally, 1 breath of time passed, and everyone present felt a jolt in their hearts. Just as everyone's gazes uniformly fell on Lu Gui, wanting to see him attack Duan Ling Tian, they found that Lu Gui was standing in the air, without any movement. At this moment, Lu Gui's gaze was fixed blankly ahead, his entire being as if struck by lightning. In that instant, everyone who had been looking at Lu Gui followed his gaze to the other side. There stood the youth in purple robes. It was Duan Ling Tian, the very person Lu Gui had been about to kill. Yet now, as they followed Lu Gui's stare toward Duan Ling Tian, every one of them, Lu Gui included, stood slack-jawed and dumbstruck. It was as if they had seen something utterly unthinkable. What's wrong with them? Xiong Quan, who had been sweating bullets for Duan Ling Tian, glanced from his young master to the rest of the crowd. He discovered that apart from himself and Feng Tianwu lying in the ice coffin, everyone present, even Lu Bai, the Lu family's 2nd young master, was staring at his young master like a bunch of fools. Could it be because of that wisp of flame rising from my young master's hand? Soon Xiong Quan realized something and focused on the fire flickering in Duan Ling Tian's palm. If there was any difference between his young master now and moments ago, it was merely the extra strand of flame in his hand. That's pill fire? Xiong Quan vaguely guessed what it might be. Still, he couldn't tell what grade of pill fire Duan Ling Tian was holding. Duan Ling Tian. Far away, the force that had pinned Lu Bai in place vanished the moment Lu Gui froze, yet Lu Bai seemed not to notice at all. His eyes stared fixedly at Duan Ling Tian. More precisely, at the wisp of flame that had suddenly leapt up in Duan Ling Tian's hand. As the 2nd young master of the alchemist family Lu, he recognized it as pill fire with a single glance. Purple pill fire. Edged with a strip of gold. That's purple gold pill fire? 1st grade pill fire. Lu Bai's pupils shrank sharply, his face filled with shock and disbelief. The scene before him was something he had never dreamed possible. That's purple gold pill fire. Seems so. Purple gold pill fire is 1st grade pill fire. An alchemist who can condense 1st grade pill fire is undoubtedly a 1st grade alchemist. This Duan Lingtian is a first-grade alchemist? How can that be? As Lu Bai came back to his senses, a handful of others followed suit, chattering in amazement, every face etched with incredulity. At this moment, the way they looked at Duan Lingtian held only horror and reverence. Horror at Duan Lingtian's attainment in the Tao of alchemy. Reverence for Duan Lingtian's identity. A first-grade alchemist. High in the sky, the two old men who had been seething with anger, ready to fight for the chance to kill Duan Lingtian, saw their rage vanish completely, replaced by solemn gravity. Whoosh, whoosh. They hurriedly swooped down and landed in front of Duan Lingtian, staring blankly at the flame in his hand. It really is purple gold pill fire. Lu Yuan's plump, moon-like face twitched, his tiny eyes wide as he exclaimed in shock. First-grade pill fire. He really is a first-grade alchemist? By now Lu Gui, still staring at the purple gold flame in Duan Lingtian's hand, was muttering under his breath. What? Elder Yuan and Elder Gui still afraid I'm faking it and posing as a first-grade alchemist? Duan Lingtian narrowed his eyes slightly and asked in a light tone. His words seemed to turn into two great hammers that slammed into Lu Yuan and Lu Gui's chests, jolting them back to their senses. Lu Yuan and Lu Gui, the Lu family's two protector elders, existences of the Martial Emperor realm. Now that they had confirmed Duan Lingtian's status, the way they looked at him had completely changed. Gone was their contempt. In its place stood awe. Greetings, Great Master. Greetings, Great Master. As protector elders of the alchemist family Lu, shaped by the Lu environment, they felt something wholly different from ordinary folk toward a first-grade alchemist. In their eyes, a first-grade alchemist was an existence to look up to, someone they had no right to offend, even if they themselves were Martial Emperor experts. On the Yunshao continent, every first-grade alchemist wielded astonishing influence. If such an alchemist wished, he need only promise to refine a certain number of first-grade spirit pills for whoever killed them, and that would be enough to move many experts stronger than themselves. When that happened, they would become the target of all, doomed to be wiped out. In short, it came down to one line. A first-grade alchemist was not to be provoked. Of course, their immediate capitulation after Duan Lingtian revealed his first-grade alchemist identity wasn't solely because they feared trouble for themselves. More than that, they were thinking of the Lu family. The Lu family, an alchemist clan. If it offended a first-grade alchemist, word would spread and people would laugh till their teeth fell out, saying the Lu family was blind. And if this first-grade alchemist really decided to take on the Lu family, even if the family were sheltered by a first-rate faction from the inland and could survive, it would still be thrown into utter chaos. Granted, they could choose to gamble and kill this first-grade alchemist, whose strength might not equal their own. Yet doing so would leave them facing a crisis that could arrive at any moment. A first-grade alchemist, no matter how eccentric, would never have failed to bestow favors. He must have refined first-grade spirit pills for others. The network of first-grade alchemist weaves is more than enough to set the entire Lu family on its head. When that moment arrives, the two of us at the center of it will almost certainly face certain death. No one understands the influence of a first-grade alchemist better than the Lu family. It was precisely the dozen or so first-grade alchemists in our history that let us endure for 10,000 years. What? You're not going to kill me anymore? Duan Lingtian sneered. We wouldn't dare. We absolutely wouldn't dare. Only moments ago, Lu Yuan and Lu Gui, Martial Emperor experts, had stood loftily in the air looking down on Duan Lingtian as if he were an ant. Now they trembled before him in utter terror. Like mice meeting a cat. This Duan Lingtian is actually a first-grade alchemist. Heavens, how old is he? Earlier he killed Elder Lu Zhao, an 8th-level void transformation realm expert, in a single exchange. At his age, possessing such strength makes him a prodigy in martial arts. But the real shock is that besides his monstrous martial talent, his alchemy talent is even more terrifying. He's already a first-grade alchemist at such a young age. If I didn't know that demons can almost never become alchemists, I'd swear he wasn't human like the rest of us. By now everyone present had regained their senses, and, amid a chorus of voices, their hearts were shaken to the core. Impossible. The green-robed middle-aged man standing beside Lu Zhao's corpse stared in disbelief, just like his two companions, unable to accept what he was seeing. Duan Lingtian is actually a first-grade alchemist? If anyone present regretted most, it was none other than Huang Chun. Huang Chun had practically become friends with Duan Lingtian, chatting happily together. Yet one wrong decision had severed that budding friendship. One false step brings eternal regret. Never was the saying truer. Now, no matter how bitter his remorse, it was too late. In this world, there is no pill for regret. A first-grade alchemist? The young master is a first-grade alchemist. Xiong Quan's eyes blazed with delight. No wonder the young master said he'd be fine. He's a first-grade alchemist. A first-grade alchemist is one of only two sorts of people who can kill a direct Lu family scion without the clan pursuing the matter. Duan Lingtian. At this point, the Lu family's second young master, Lu Bai, strode toward him, eyes sparkling. You're actually a first-grade ally pharmacist. You really kept me in the dark. By the end, his tone carried a hint of grievance. Looking at Lu Bai before him, Duan Lingtian smiled faintly. You never asked. If I'd known you were a first-grade alchemist, why would I have worried myself sick? Lu Bai gave a bitter laugh. Only moments ago his heart had been in his throat, terrified he'd be unable to account to his former lifesaver. After all, Duan Lingtian had been together with that benefactor, and their relationship was clearly anything but ordinary. All right, I remember. You told me you came to our Lu family this time hoping to land a post as honored retainer or guest elder. Suddenly, Lu Bai's eyes lit up as he stared at Duan Lingtian as though beholding a priceless treasure. Honored retainer? Guest elder? The moment the words left Lu Bai's lips, Lu Yuan and Lu Gui, who had been hovering uneasily nearby, brightened, their faces filling with delighted surprise. They turned burning gazes on Duan Lingtian. If this young man could become an honored retainer or guest elder of the Lu family, it would be a heaven-sent stroke of fortune. He was a first-grade alchemist, after all. In the Lu family's history, the previous first-grade alchemist dated back nearly 1,000 years. For the past several centuries, no first-grade alchemist had appeared among them. Now that the second young master mentions it, I recall. Duan Lingtian did say he wanted to try for an honored retainer or guest elder spot. He did say it. I heard it too. At the time, I thought he was just bragging. Same here. I figured he was boasting. After all, to qualify as an honored retainer or guest elder, one must be either a martial emperor expert or an alchemist of second grade or higher. Back then, I didn't think he had the credentials. Who could have guessed he wasn't just above second grade? He's a first-grade alchemist. Prompted by Lu Bai, many recalled that Duan Lingtian had indeed said those words. Great master. Lu So, finally shaking off his daze, looked at Duan Lingtian with anticipation, awaiting his answer. Originally, when Duan Lingtian said that he came to the Lu family to become a consecrated or guest elder, Lu So, like everyone else, only felt that Duan Lingtian was bragging. When Duan Lingtian, disregarding his and the Lu family's second young master's advice, resolutely killed Lu Huai, the Lu family third young master, the first thought that arose in Lu So's mind was undoubtedly, Duan Lingtian is finished. When the two protector elders of the Lu family appeared, targeting Duan Lingtian over the death of Lu Huai, the Lu family third young master, and the second young master, Lu Bai, pleaded to no avail. Lu So did not believe Duan Lingtian could survive. However, the turn of events completely exceeded his expectations. Just as Lu Gui, their Lu family's protector elder, was about to strike and kill Duan Lingtian, at that critical moment, Duan Lingtian condensed a wisp of pill fire. Purple gold pill fire. First-grade pill fire. He forcefully displayed his noble identity as a first-grade alchemist, completely reversing the situation at the scene. Not only did he survive, but he also instilled awe in everyone present. First-grade alchemist. This title alone, in front of a second-rate faction like their Lu family, was equivalent to a death exemption gold medallion. Now, this terrifyingly young first-grade alchemist intends to join their Lu family and become their Lu family's consecrated or guest elder. How could he not be excited? not look forward to it. Once this first-grade alchemist joined the Lu family, he might, by virtue of being on the second young master's side, take advantage of the proximity to ask for advice on alchemy. Perhaps, with the guidance of this first-grade alchemist, he could achieve a breakthrough in one fell swoop and become a second-grade alchemist. Within the Lu family, there were many third-grade alchemists, but second-grade alchemists were few and far between. Once he became a second-grade alchemist, it would also mean his rise to prominence. Lu So looked at Duan Lingtian with fervent eyes, awaiting his response. Now, while feeling uneasy, he continuously prayed. He only hoped that this first-grade alchemist great master would not be affected by the unpleasant incident that just occurred, and thus have a negative opinion of their Lu family, causing him to abandon the idea of becoming their Lu family's consecrated or guest elder. At this moment, Lu So was not the only one feeling uneasy. Including Lu Yuan and Lu Gui, the two protector elders of the Lu family, everyone from the Lu family present felt somewhat anxious. Duan Lingtian. Lu Bai stared at Duan Lingtian with gleaming eyes, full of anticipation. After what just happened, I wonder if this great master Duan Lingtian is still willing to join the Lu family and become a consecrated or guest elder of the Lu family. Everyone present looked at Duan Lingtian, filled with curiosity about this. Of course, more people's gazes were mixed with a hint of expectation and hope. These were all people who were confident in their attainments in the Tao of alchemy, believing that they would surely pass the alchemist competition held by the Lu family today and join the Lu family. At this moment, they subconsciously regarded themselves as Lu family's adopted disciples. In their view, if this first-grade alchemist great master truly became a consecrated or guest elder of the Lu family, they might have the opportunity to ask him some questions about the Tao of alchemy in the future, thereby gaining insights and achieving breakthroughs. Perhaps I should reconsider. Just now, these two wanted my life. Duan Lingtian glanced at Lu Bai, then looked at Lu Yuan and Lu Gui, his eyes unconsciously narrowing, a hint of mockery playing on his lips, a half-smile on his face. Upon hearing this, Lu Bai's expression changed. Elder Yuan, Elder Gui, I hope you apologize to Duan Lingtian. If the Lu family loses a first-grade alchemist guest elder because of your abruptness, you will become sinners of the Lu family. Lu Bai immediately looked at Lu Yuan and Lu Gui, shouting angrily regardless of the occasion. At this moment, he completely disregarded Lu Yuan and Lu Gui's esteemed status and position within the Lu family. He only knew that he had to fight to make Duan Lingtian stay and become a guest elder of the Lu family. Normally, for other matters, if Lu Bai were to shout at Lu Yuan and the other in public like this, Lu Yuan and the other would definitely be extremely displeased. However, today, they showed no displeasure whatsoever. In fact, as soon as Lu Bai's voice fell, Lu Yuan and Lu Gui already bowed in unison to Duan Lingtian, saying in one voice, "We deeply offended you just now. Great Master, please do not take offense. If the Great Master is willing to join our Lu family, we will wholeheartedly fulfill any request you may have. Even if the Great Master wishes to punish us, we will not utter a second word." A first-grade alchemist was simply too important to the Lu family. Precisely because of this, in order to retain Duan Lingtian, this first-grade alchemist, Lu Yuan and Lu Gui, these two protector elders of the Lu family, existences in the Martial Emperor realm, were willing to bow and apologize and make a solemn promise. It seems that the Lu family's ability to endure for tens of thousands of years and remain powerful is not entirely due to the protection of the inland's first-rate faction. It is truly rare for people of the Lu family to go to such lengths for their family. Indeed, as protector elders of the Lu family, Martial Emperor experts, they are willing to humble themselves to secure a first-grade alchemist for the Lu family. On this point, few Martial Emperor experts from other factions can do the same. The people present whispered among themselves, praising the courage of the Lu family members, while staring intently at Duan Lingtian. They all wanted to know if, with such sincerity from Lu Yuan and Lu Gui, the other party would be willing to join the Lu family and become a consecrated or guest elder of the Lu family. Suddenly, the air in the distance rippled. Immediately after, a loud voice came through. Lu Rue, the Lu family head, along with protector elder Lu Ji and a host of other elders, pays respects to great Master Duan. Under the watchful eyes of all, a sturdy middle-aged man in a green robe, with an extraordinary and heroic bearing, and an old man in red robes walked side by side, leading more than 10 elders and middle-aged men, soaring through the air. In a flash, they descended, standing with Lu Yuan and Lu Gui, their eyes filled with reverence as they looked at Duan Lingtian. It's the Lu family head, and another protector elder of the Lu family. Heavens! The Lu family head and all 3 protector elders are personally here. This is a rare sight. All of this is because of great Master Duan Lingtian. A first-grade alchemist holds extraordinary significance for the Lu family. The Lu family will definitely go to any lengths to secure one. After their initial astonishment, the crowd began to discuss. Their words further elevated Duan Lingtian, this first-grade alchemist, to a new level. Lu family head, Elder Lu Ji. Duan Lingtian's eyes flashed as he greeted Lu Rue and Lu Ji, then looked at the group of Lu family elders behind them, giving a slight nod as a greeting. Duan Lingtian was not surprised by the arrival of the Lu family's high-ranking members. As early as when he displayed his first-grade pill fire, he noticed that the Lu family member who had previously called Lu Yuan and Lu Ji had quietly turned and left again. The group of high-ranking members, led by Lu Rue, the Lu family head, were clearly also summoned by him. Great Master Duan is truly an unparalleled genius. At such a young age, not only is his martial Dao cultivation impressive, but he has also achieved astonishing success in the Dao of alchemy, already a first-grade alchemist. It is truly admirable. Lu Rue praised. His words came from the heart, without any falsehood. Such a young person, with impressive martial Dao cultivation and also a first-grade alchemist, even as the Lu family head, he couldn't help but feel an inexplicable shock. Great Master Duan, the juniors of the Lu family have offended you greatly. Please do not take offense. If Great Master Duan does not mind, please come to our Lu family mansion for a discussion. We will certainly treat Great Master Duan as a distinguished guest and offer compensation. Lu Ji followed up. As soon as Lu Ji spoke, the entire scene fell silent. The ins and outs of today's events were clear to everyone present. Duan Lingtian first killed a Lu family elder, and then even killed the Lu family third young master. The former was one thing, but the latter was a noble direct descendant of the Lu family, not someone who could be killed just like that. Even if Duan Lingtian was in the right in today's incident. Precisely because of this, the 2 protector elders of the Lu family descended, intending to kill Duan Lingtian without questioning the reasons. However, all of this underwent a drastic change after Duan Lingtian revealed his identity as a first-grade alchemist. First, the 2 protector elders of the Lu family sincerely apologized. Then, the Lu family head and another protector elder, along with a group of Lu family elders, personally arrived, and with protector elder Lu Ji as their representative, apologized to Duan Lingtian. Their words even suggested treating Duan Lingtian, the one who killed their Lu family's direct descendant, as a distinguished guest, and even offering compensation. Those present felt their minds couldn't keep up with the unfolding events. When they all came back to their senses, their hearts suddenly became clear, realizing that all of this was only because of the identity Duan Lingtian revealed after condensing first-grade pill fire. First-grade alchemist. Family head, Elder Ji. At this moment, Lu Bai, the Lu family's second young master, walked to Lu Rue and Lu Ji's side and whispered something. As he spoke, Lu Rue and Lu Ji's eyes lit up, and expressions of pleasant surprise appeared on their faces. It seems that the Lu family's second young master told the Lu family head and the others about Great Master Duan's intention to join the Lu family and become a consecrated or guest elder of the Lu family. That should be it. Many people secretly speculated. The next scene proved them right. Great Master Duan, if you are willing to join our Lu family is willing to honor you as the first guest elder. In the future, whatever Great Master Duan requires, the Lu family will do its utmost to procure it for Great Master Duan. Lu Rue, the Lu family head, cupped his hands and bowed to Duan Lingtian, speaking with sincere words. Please, Great Master Duan, join the Lu family and become a guest elder of the Lu family. Immediately after, Lu Ji, the Lu family protector elder, led a group of Lu family elders in a respectful bow, inviting Duan Lingtian to become the highest-ranking guest elder of the Lu family. At this moment, even Lu Bai, Lu So, and Lu Yuan and Lu Gui all bowed and followed, saying, Please, Great Master Duan, join the Lu family. As the Lu family members bowed and called out, sincerely inviting Duan Lingtian to join the Lu family, the scene once again fell into a dead silence. For those present, the scene before them would surely be an unforgettable one for the rest of their lives. A young man who looked to be only in his early 20s was making the high-level officials of the Lu family, one of the two strongest forces in the Biling land, bow their heads and bend their waists, all just to invite him to join the Lu family and become their first guest elder. Facing the sincere invitation from the Lu family's high-level officials, Duan Lingtian maintained a calm and indifferent expression, remaining unperturbed as if Mount Tai were collapsing before him. It was as if he wasn't even the person being invited. Right now, the words just spoken by the Lu family head, Lu Rue, were still echoing in Duan Lingtian's ears. In the future, Great Master Duan, if you have any needs, the Lu family will surely go all out to seek whatever you require. Wasn't this exactly why he had come to the Lu family? Since family head Lu and the various elders are so sincere, and given that Lu Bai is my friend, it would be somewhat unreasonable for me to refuse again. Under the watchful eyes of the crowd, Duan Lingtian finally spoke slowly. What was originally just a statement to take advantage of the situation ended up giving Lu Bai a favor in an invisible way. He had agreed. As expected, as soon as he finished speaking, the high-level officials of the Lu family all turned to look at Lu Bai, making him the center of attention for a moment. Lu Bai, you have done very well. The Lu family head, Lu Rue, looked at Lu Bai and nodded slightly, his eyes showing a few hints of appreciation. For a moment, Lu Bai couldn't help but feel a bit apprehensive. Although he was the second young master of the Lu family, strictly speaking, he was only ranked second among the younger generation of the Lu family's direct line. In terms of relationship, the Lu family head was only his cousin uncle. The ranking of the Lu family's direct line youth was based on age. So far, there were more than 20. Lu Bai happened to be ranked second, making him the second young master of the Lu family. The candidate for the next Lu family head would be chosen from among these 20 people. Until now, the ones with the best chance of inheriting the Lu family business were none other than Lu Bai, the second young master, and Lu Song, the eldest young master. Now, Lu Bai receiving praise from the Lu family had undoubtedly meant he was one step closer to the position of the next family head. Ever since the second young master was very young, I could see he was extraordinary, with the talent of a great general. Looking at it now, it's truly so. This time, he has secured a great benefactor for our Lu family. Given the relationship between the second young master and Great Master Duan, if he inherits the position of family head in the future, why would our Lu family ever worry about not prospering? Well said. At this moment, many Lu family elders began to flatter Lu Bai. The elders who were already on Lu Bai's side were now taking advantage of the momentum, bluntly stating the benefits that Lu Bai becoming the next Lu family head would bring to the family. As for the elders who stood on the side of the eldest young master, Lu Song, they looked at each other and exchanged bitter smiles. Normally, hearing these rivals flatter the second young master Lu Bai like this, they would have inevitably resorted to cold sarcasm, but now, they didn't dare to do so at all. Who knew if that great Master Duan would leave in a huff because of their lack of tact? After all, he was a friend of the second young master Lu Bai, and they seemed to have a good relationship. They didn't want to become the eternal sinners of the Lu family, so they could only obediently shut their mouths. At the same time, some of them were breaking out in cold sweat, their thoughts shifting rapidly as they considered whether they should abandon their old master and pledge loyalty to the second young master Lu Bai. After all, the current second young master Lu Bai, having connected with a first-grade alchemist, was destined to see his status in the Liu family rise like a boat on a rising tide. Even the Liu family head and the three protector elders, who held the highest status, would pay more attention to him, who had been in a weak position in the past. Hearing the Liu family elders, who had previously been neutral and stood neither on his side nor Liu Song's, flattering him with signs of switching allegiance in their words, Liu Bai couldn't help but smile bitterly to himself. He never expected that a single sentence from Duan Lingtian would be more effective than his 10 years of management. He had managed for 10 years just to get some Liu family elders to lean toward him, and now they were helping him. On second thought, Liu Bai felt relieved. Duan Lingtian was, after all, a first-grade alchemist, an existence high above the Liu family, an existence that could not be profaned. It could be imagined. If he were a first-grade alchemist, let alone not having to compete with Liu Song anymore, even if he wanted the current Liu family head to step down so he could become the head immediately, absolutely no one in the Liu family would have an objection. Within the Liu family, no matter who it was, once they broke through to become a first-grade alchemist, their status in the Liu family would override everyone else's. If he said 1, no one in the Liu family would dare say 2. This included the Liu family head and the other martial emperor experts of the Liu family, without exception. The Liu family had a legacy of 10,000 years, and among the earliest ancestral instructions passed down, there was such a rule. A first-grade alchemist, whether from the direct line or a branch line, holds the highest status, overriding everyone in the Liu family. Future descendants must not violate this. Perhaps it was precisely because of this that the people of the Liu family had developed a reflexive reaction upon seeing a first-grade alchemist, like a mouse seeing a cat. However, I think I just killed the third young master of the Liu family. After I become a guest elder of the Liu family, I shouldn't be punished, right? Just as everyone in the Liu family was incredibly excited, Duan Lingtian suddenly popped out such a sentence, which was like pouring a basin of cold water over the heads of the Liu family members who were happily taking a hot bath. It made them all shiver and snap back to their senses. Of course not. The Liu family head, Liu Rue, was the first to recover, shaking his head to state his position. That brat Liu Huai was never an easy character in the past. I think if he hadn't taken the initiative to provoke you, Elder Duan, you definitely wouldn't have killed him. Standing beside Liu Rue, the Liu family protector elder, Liu Ji, followed up. In his words, Liu Ji already addressed Duan Lingtian as Elder Duan. From the moment Duan Lingtian agreed to become a guest elder of the Liu family, he was already an elder of the Liu family, a guest elder with a lofty status. Just as the Liu family head, Liu Rue, had said. He was the Liu family's first guest elder. In terms of status, even Liu Rue was respectful to him and didn't dare to be negligent. With his current status in the Liu family, to a certain extent, he clearly stood above everyone else. Exactly. That brat Liu Huai. I saw in the past that he had a shifty look and didn't seem like a good person. Elder Duan, you killed him well. You've removed a scourge for our Liu family. Another protector elder, Liu Yuan, added. Indeed, Elder Duan, you have cleaned house for the Liu family. We can't thank you enough, so how could we possibly punish you? Protector elder Liu family guardian elder, who had previously clamored to personally take action against Duan Lingtian, kill him, and avenge Liu Huai, had now completely changed his face. The speed at which he changed his face left everyone present dumbfounded. However, no one dared to say a word of gossip. What a joke. They weren't like Duan Lingtian, who was a first-grade alchemist. If they dared to gossip about this Liu family protector elder, the other party might not act against them now for the sake of face, but once he found an opportunity, he would definitely not let them off. If the Yunxiao continent is compared to a starry sky, and the people on the Yunxiao continent are compared to stars in the starry sky, young master is undoubtedly the most brilliant one. Xiong Quan stood in the distance with a thick smile on his face, feeling proud that he could follow such a master. However, on second thought, thinking of his own insignificant strength, he couldn't help but feel a bit discouraged. With his current strength, he couldn't help the young master at all and could only be a burden. I hope that by relying on the Liu family this time, I can further rapidly improve my strength. According to the young master's words, besides using spirit fruits to pile up my cultivation, he can also use some profound understanding array to enhance the sword intent I have comprehended. At this time, Xiongquan remembered what Duan Lingtian had told him not long ago. This Lu family should have spirit fruits and that whatever profound understanding array, right? Thinking of this, Xiongquan felt a bit apprehensive. That's good then. Although he had already guessed that the high-level officials of the Lu family could not possibly deal with him after he revealed his identity as a first-grade alchemist, Duan Lingtian still felt a secret sense of satisfaction when he actually heard them say so. He hadn't expected the identity of a first-grade alchemist to be so useful. Of course, this is also because the Lu family is an alchemist family. If it were another family like the Lu family, they might not necessarily be so polite to me. Duan Lingtian was well aware of this. Elder Duan, you have traveled a long way. Please come into the estate to rest. Lu Rue greeted Duan Lingtian warmly, then looked at Lu Bai. Let Lu Bai take you there. No rush. I also want to see this alchemist competition. Duan Lingtian shook his head and said, although it was impossible for him to participate in the alchemist competition held by the Lu family now, he was still very interested in watching from the side, because this was the first competition between alchemists he had encountered in his life. He was very curious and full of anticipation. He was curious about how an alchemist competition decided a winner, and curious about the level of alchemists outside the region. He looked forward to seeing the group of alchemists present take action. It was the first time he had seen so many alchemists. Since Elder Duan is so interested, then we shall all accompany you. Lu Rue said to Duan Lingtian with a smile. The other high-level officials of the Lu family nodded one by one, having no objections and not daring to have any. Family head, elders, I'll just take a casual look. You all should go back and rest first. Seeing the group of high-level officials led by the Lu family head, Lu Rue, being so enthusiastic, Duan Lingtian found it a bit hard to handle for a moment and spoke quickly. Elder Duan, the reason we want to stay is mainly because we want to see you critique the alchemy level of these little fellows. I think, since you are here, the chief judge of this alchemist competition must be you. Lu Ji also said to Duan Lingtian with a smile. However, the smile on his face, in Duan Lingtian's eyes, looked like the smile of an old fox no matter how he looked at it. Yes, Elder Duan, we all want to see you critique these little fellows. A group of Lu family elders followed suit.